All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Voice of the Arab podcast. Today's a special one. Feel me? I want everybody to introduce themselves and their Instagram to the people. So let's get it.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Mark Davenport. I'm not gonna say why the fuck I say my whole name. I'm Mark. Yeah, I gotta take a shot. But my Instagram is the bigger main, and yeah, thanks for having me. From the Bronx, by the way.
Yeah,
All day.
BX
That's the
rapping.
only way.
This is Maury, Dave's big brother.
Black Jesus, man.
I don't know why you call me Black Jesus, but yeah. Instagram is Carson Codes, so holla at me.
My name is Bengali, from the Bronx as well. Instagram is gonna be __ BG Speaks.
Brian from the Bronx. Instagram is Rojas, ROJAJAS.
Steamy, man. 3 underscores DEEMY. Let's get it.
A lot of Bronx stuff right now.
Bronx, BX all day.
Yo, BX all day, man.
I like
Every
that.
Bronx
Feel
Instagram
me?
got something different.
No, the
vibe,
right?
Feel me? BX all day, man. BX all day.
It
And
is
if y'all
the last-
tuning
it
in,
is-
make
it is
sure
the last word to get
to like, subscribe to the channel, or also follow us on Apple Podcasts, Anchor.fm. What we say yet? Spotify. We got
Everything.
Amazon, everything,
TikTok.
all platforms and everything. The drink kind of getting to me, fam. I'm getting a little bit tipsy,
You'll
but
find
we're gonna get there, right?
You thought
It'll
you
get
So-
to you.
We got a lot of, feel me? We got a lot of young black brothers out here, you feel me? Like everybody who, like, figuring life out as we grow, everybody here has a career. Feel me? We went through trials and tribulations and we got here. So I feel like, like a good topic for us to even discuss today would be like, what is your definition of a man or growing up to be a man? And like, has like certain experiences like helped you become the man that you are today? And what were like the trials and tribulations that you went through as a black man? Deep. We can start off.
Straight up.
Start to the right.
I'll start. Are we gonna go in order?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think to answer your question, I think we from New York, so we all go through trials and tribulations, right? Like we kind of like were men, or felt like we were men by like 10 years old, 11, 12, right? We were handling or doing things that we shouldn't have had to do. But I think it made me mature really early. I know a lot of my friends and my peers said I was really mature before my time. But I don't trials and tribulations. I don't know. Like I feel like I had a solid life. Like we kind of spoke about pre-pod. Like I felt like I was raised by different people. Different people gave me a lot of my energy, personality, the way I think, the way I approach life. But I think it was all for the best, right? Like even the good is always gonna the bad's always gonna feel like it outweighs the good. But you got to think about we blessed, right? Like we're here, we're having these conversations. Some people like we know personally are not here. So I think that's all of that makes us who we are. Like I said, we come from, different situations, different families, different households, upbringing. So, yeah, definitely.
But Maury, like, what does it mean being a man to you?
I mean, growing up, man, I just thought that when I was younger, especially back where we was raised at, I used to think being a man was like the ability to express my physical dominance over another man.
Yeah, that's
Make another man feel like inferior, But just traveling the world, just being in different countries and start my own business. I think being a man is like being kind, being understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, like showing the youth that there's other ways to express your emotions than being violent.
For sure.
Because growing up, I was super violent. Every problem that I had, the solution for me is to get physical. So I think being from the hood, you see the OGs, like, they don't really talk about their problems. They be like, you know what? You want to be a man, you got to like show them,
Gotta
show
handle
them
it.
you're strong.
Man up. Yeah.
Man up. So I think not being a man now, like I got my little brother here, so like being a man now, I just want to show him, show other people like, yo, there's other ways of dealing with your problems. You don't got to get physical. Talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Vent about it. Just don't get violent. You know what I'm saying? So I think being a man now is being understanding, being compassionate, and just teaching and learning as you go. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
BG.
When it comes to the idea of manhood, for me personally, being a man is about making hard decisions. Nobody in the room want to make that decision. Being a man is having a bigger back, meaning you can handle a lot. Doesn't mean you have to handle it all, but in your nature, in your creation, your ability to handle a lot it's possible. Being a man to me is being vulnerable and leading, because I feel like a lot of times, especially with our youth today, we not. A lot of times, maybe the men in our generation before us just dictated. They didn't teach us how to lead. So a lot of times, we don't know how to teach a younger person how to lead until we find ownership as to what the leading is. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for us, especially within our generation, I think we're millennials all here, right?
Yeah,
Millennials, and our job as men is to have the ability to learn how to lead and practicing freedom, not just wanting freedom. Practicing it so you could show it to your sons, so you could show it to your nephew, so you could show it to your niece or your family, and being okay with leading your family forward. That doesn't mean every decision you make will be right, but being okay that I'm gonna make that next step and it's fine. That's what manhood is to me personally.
Brian.
Man, piggybacking from what everybody said is just being vulnerable, man. Being open to all conversations too. As a man, Bengali, we came from high schools where being a man in those environments was you had to look at a man in the eye enough to know that you're not scared, but look a man in the eye enough to know that you don't want to fight. You feel me? So you have to look at them in the face enough to be like, look, I'm not here for the nonsense, but I also have to look at you in the face enough to let you know that I don't want no problems. And leaving your crib every day, knowing that that was the battle that you had to fight, made you a man and made you realize that that's not how I want my students to grow up to be like. You don't want your sons to grow up to be like, your nephews to grow up to be like, right? So being a man to me is the conversation could last hours, but being a man to me is just being open to conversations, being vulnerable, and knowing that you don't have the answers to everything, yo.
Absolutely.
And God hit it right in the nail. Like, you have to make hard decisions, even though that decision might not be the best decision.
Right.
You might step in a hospital bed and you have to decide from your wife to your kid. And that's a decision. You don't want to stand on that floor and be them. And believe it or not, they're going to come to you and get you. They're not getting her father. They're not getting her mother. They're not getting they're asking you. So making those decisions and making sure that those decisions are at least as close as possible to the right one. But yeah, man, hard conversations, hard decisions, being vulnerable, being open, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
What about you, Demi?
I know for me, being a man is, being accountable, being vulnerable, doing what you say you're gonna do, keeping your word. And I know I always piggyback on this, but like I said, I had a great father figure growing up, and he would always say, if you're gonna do something, make sure you do it right the first time. That way you ain't gotta do it again.
Right.
You know, so just being a man is, it's not an easy task
It's not.
at all. Like I think someone said, is you're not gonna have all the right answers, and you just gotta try your best.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, can I? Because I didn't answer the question properly. But I'm gonna be very brief. I think being a man is raising better people, right? I think from all of your
We can
perspectives.
stop right there.
Yeah, low key I was, but I just want to kind of pinpoint on everybody's kind of perspective. I think putting better people on this earth is gonna always come back. It's like planting seeds, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to the people that you touch on a day to day is who will carry this forward, right? So like
Absolutely.
they say, when you die, your children are your legacy. You planting that seed
Absolutely.
to tell that story. So I think that's what part of being a man is, making the people around you a better person. 100%. So definitely.
I say for me, what would I say it means to be a man? It means to fail and learn from your mistakes, right?
Deep, bro.
Yes.
Take
I was
risks.
just
Yeah.
thinking that.
Loss ain't a loss, is a lesson.
Yeah, it's a lesson for
I
me.
was
Like
just
I feel
thinking
like
that.
as a man, you need to learn from all of your failures. Fail as much as you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes, there's nothing wrong with failing. Like at the end of the day, you're learning new things from it. Feel me? If you do something a million times, eventually you'll know that. Okay, by your millionth time, you will know that it's something new that you have to do in order for you not to fail like you did yesterday or the day before. Right. And just like y'all said, like holding yourself accountable and just knowing that, listen, man, even if things are not all right today, it can always be all right tomorrow. Like a lot of times we cry, but we cry behind like closed doors and shit.
Yeah.
Like we don't like to talk to people and tell people
Why you
like,
doing this, man?
what's going on. I'm getting fake teary right now. But yeah, this is real shit. Like
It's gonna be a
like for me,
Yeah, for sure.
for me, I say like what makes me a man today would be, my dad did like he did the best he could, but me being a man and what makes me be the man that I am today, I would definitely say is my brother Maury here that we have here, my cousin BG, and like the guidance of other older people who was like always there to give me advices or even help. Like sometimes you can be lonely, you don't know how to really communicate with people and stuff like that. Even like D me sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. Even like when they be having the game nights, yo, pull up to the crib, man. Let's all come chill. Feel me? Meet more new people and just grow. You know, like these are things that always like help you out to become a better man or a better version of yourself than you was the day before. Right now, you want to say
I
that?
just want to add on to, you know, we all Doombias, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we all watch each other grow. And I was just talking to Maury about like how far he's come. Sometimes as a man, you in your body every day. You don't even know you've excelled.
Right.
You know, and other men they're not telling you, yo. Like when I told you the other day at the shop, I'm proud of you. Like, but I meant it because I know what you're doing. And it's like sometimes you're in your body and you're just on go mode.
Just keep
and
going.
you're not
Yeah.
hearing people saying, yo, I'm dead ass proud of you, bro.
Yes.
From what our parents came, like our fathers came in as immigrants. Them dudes didn't know how to read or write,
All
bro.
of us, I think.
I'm gonna be
sorry.
honest. When people be
I'm gonna
like,
take it back on you.
people be
I'm from
like,
the
yo,
South.
like, but your dad didn't even do like up to
Carolina.
5th grade. I said the man didn't even do kindergarten, bro. You feel me? So, and my mom was just talking about how my dad would have been so like advanced in life if he had went to school, and how she was teaching him how to read and write. And I was like, damn, it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
But look at us now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, again, like man to man, I'm proud of you, man. Like that ass, like you came a long way, and that's love. That's to me, that's beautiful. Cause why? Cause when my son is born, he gonna look at men, and I'm so hyped for him to be around men that damn, they doing that thing.
So you saying that, BG, and it reminds me, I don't know the guy's name. His name is Mr. Williams, I think. He writes a book about mental health, and he says it is hard for another man to accept a compliment. So this is what a man will do. I'm proud of you. Nah, I ain't doing nothing, bro. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I do that shit all the time.
It's like, no, man, I'm proud of you, man. I'm happy for you. Don't deflect that I'm proud of you,
Right.
throwing it back to me. It's like, nah, I don't think I'm doing enough, man. But now, at the moment, I'm proud of you. Like, accept that. So us as men, we don't take that. We don't take enough compliments, but we like to give out a compliment. So we will walk down the streets and be like, that's a fly fit. Oh, it ain't nothing, man.
Right.
It's like,
You know
nah,
what it
bro,
is,
you have a
Flo?
fly fit, bro.
So how do you respond to that? What's your response to somebody says,
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you? Just
Thank you.
Period. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
not-
think that my phone because you
Nah,
said.
go ahead.
I think that what y'all saying and what you just said, I think I battle that every day.
Yeah,
I
man.
think that
You think?
I need to learn. I need to learn how to be celebrated.
That's it.
And I don't know how to be celebrated. Like, you know,
because we would never celebrate it to us.
you know what I'm saying? I think I deal with that constantly. I just
bro.
don't know. I can't accept it. Like one of his mentors named Naj always telling me, Maury, I love the way you dress. I love the way you carry yourself. I'm like, nah, bro, this is like
Nothing.
$20
It's regular.
I ain't asked you the price of the shirt, bro.
Just me.
Just me, baby. You know what
Just
I'm
me.
saying?
Right. For sure.
you
For
that.
sure.
I think it's real. I think that we need to learn how to be, especially as black men, we need to learn how
Yo,
to be
yeah,
celebrated
yo.
and accept
100%.
celebration.
I saw a clip. I think it was Swiss Beats, and I'll repost it like probably later on in the week. He was with Alicia Keys, his wife, and he was like, "We gotta learn how to accept our greatness and stop downplaying it."
Facts.
So I go to a so I'm in a low moment in my life. I think a lot about manhood is this is beautiful, right? We acknowledging each other, but manhood is really about embracing your hardships. Like, yo,
yeah.
you could curse on this platform?
You could do whatever you want.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Just want to make sure you
Be-
get your
be-
bread, my nigga.
For sure.
No, you know,
Don't fuck the money up.
the thing is, for me is manhood is fucked up.
Oh,
It's fucking rigorous. It's fucking treacherous. It's hard. But
it's overrated.
we make this shit beautiful every single day. I'm married, and I'm here. My wife is pregnant. Of course, as a man, you're thinking future. You're thinking, what can we do to better us? In her mind, she's like, we're good right now. And in my mind, it's
never.
fuck no.
I just want to
We
get
need
birth.
10
That's
more
what I'm
years.
thinking.
Like,
Right.
what's going on? So
That's how we wired.
I go to my cousin, you know, I vent to him like, yo, bro, I really like education. I really like what I do, but I'm really like mentally, I'm kind of tired. They lowballing us. And shout out to the women in our lives that speak life into us, right? My wife said, yo, just be patient. You got this. Be patient. And when we went to Puerto Rico for our baby moon, it's really a lot of soul searching for me.
How much you love Puerto Rico though?
I love it. A fourth time. But it was a lot of soul searching for me. So I go, I bring my laptop. Something the spirit says, bring your laptop out there, and I start applying to different opportunities, and like, I was really ready to leave education as a whole and take that piece of black man out of this space, right? Because we don't have enough of us in these spaces.
For sure, 1,000%.
And but sometimes when you got a family to feed, you're really thinking ahead. I do what I do. I apply to whatever I need to apply to. I get an offer. Bro, my eyes just open up. Like, and it just hit me all of a sudden again about all the people that spoke life to me. Like, yo, BG, you got this. BG, you've been doing this.
Right.
BG, and I had to step back and look myself in the mirror and be like, yo, BG, you got it, bro. You
Gotta
got
coach
it.
yourself.
You've been
Destined for this.
You've been doing this, bro.
For sure.
And just
Since high
speaking life
school.
into me, bro. Yeah, and sometimes you normalizing. This is shit I be telling you all the time. You doing the damn thing. You got the shop. You doing your thing. You know everything about vehicles, tech, and all that. You gotta own that shit, bro. It's you. It's yours.
Right.
You advancing the game. 10 years from now, you look back, bro. It's the marathon. Like, ain't nobody doing it better than me.
Rest in peace.
And I gotta sit on that. Like, I'm
on that.
good.
It is too, man.
Accept your greatness.
Like,
You gotta live in
I'ma
you gotta
be
live in your
honest,
greatness for sure.
Like,
You gotta live in
all
your
right,
greatness.
so for us growing up, like, we grew up in the same household. So for us growing up, like, we seeked validation a lot from our parents, right?
Absolutely.
Because everything that we have to do is to make sure they good or to make them proud or happy, right? So my dad, like, our dad he's a very tough man.
Mine too.
Like, dude's a
Vivian.
very tough man, you feel me? Like, this dude did not go to school. Did not go to school. This dude came to America, like, he came here with nothing to end up owning a building, to also end up owning an auto shop and a restaurant. Like, when you say self-made, that's what he was able to do from nothing.
Right.
Feel me? So sometimes, like, I feel like even me, I get into those moments where I could do something so special and great, right? But it's like I try so much and it's cool, but it's like I don't get the support that I wanted.
Right.
And sometimes I focus on that more than the people who are actually around and tell them, like, yo, bro, you did fucking fire. Like, this is good.
Can I ask a question?
And the problem, I'm gonna answer it real quick. So the problem with that is, like, sometimes we seek the validation so much from our parents, and we never really got it. So because we never got it, now it's like it sits in with us. So when we get compliments, it's hard to take in because we're not used to hearing compliments.
100%.
You get what I'm saying? When we hear, yo, you did good, yo, like, you really got this thing going. We're like, okay, yeah, cool, man, it's all right.
So let me ask this: Is your mom's validation not as good as your father's? Because this is a
Oh, no.
question. Wait. Let me
I wanna
let me ask
answer
the
that.
question. Let me ask the question. Because what I asked is the reason I asked that is because I was an athlete. I played basketball, right? And my mom was there. She raised me. That was through everything, right? It was me and her. I'm her only child, but I have siblings, right? Nonetheless, the reason I asked that is because she always was my number one fan, right? And I always put an effort forward for her. But I always looked at my friends on my teams whose dad was around. And I always longed for that. Like, yo, like, if he was here, I feel like I would approach this way different. Because as a man, right, you always seek validation from your parents, like he said. But because you don't get it, because my dad wasn't there at all. So I know as a grown man, I had a conversation with him like, yo, bro, there was time, bro, I played all through high school. You came to one game. So it's like, but that's, like we was talking about pre-pod, that sits with you. You know, those conversations sit with you. So my mom was always there, though. So again, do you seek that validation more from your father? Because we talking about, you know.
So that validation is light. As
Light?
You can see it's light. As you can see right here,
Right.
I talk to my mom every day.
Every day, for sure.
She send me voice notes and blessings
For sure.
every day.
Me too.
So she give me, like, the most validation more than anybody.
Right.
I could be at my worst, and I have not talked to my mom for a month probably, right?
Right.
She would still be sending me voice notes, giving me more blessings and pouring more into me.
Right.
Right. exactly what you talked about with the games.
Right.
I feel like that do kind of affect men a lot of the times. Like me, I played different sports. So I played soccer, and then I went to track and field, which track and field was the best sport I ever went to. It taught me discipline, right? So I went to multiple games, like I said games. I went to multiple track meets, right? Ran, felt cool, and like it just felt like I felt like I was always missing something because like every time I look in the crowd,
Right.
I see all my boys. They have their brothers, their mom, their dad, their uncles and aunts, and I hear their dad cheering for them.
Like, who there for
And then
me?
and then they just winning. And like for me, I used to feel alone because I'm like, damn, bro, like damn, my dad ain't never come
So,
here, man.
so you remember when we was before the pod stuff, when we started talking about the pod, and I told you I yearn for a family
Yeah.
because I feel like my family was kind of missing at one point. So my mom's never showed up to none of my games. My father was never there previous, so he couldn't show up to my games. And it went as far as if anybody, BJ, you might remember when I took my graduation pictures. My mom wasn't in my graduation. It was two people there that I still hold dear to my heart. Is Joel English, Kenneth Arnell.
That's my guy.
Two that I call them my brothers, right? Arnell's my brother. Joel's like my mentor, the big guy. He's the calm to our crew. So I asked my mom one time, and I was like, "Yo, why you never showed up to anything that I did?" I knew my father wasn't going to show up because me and him just didn't have a relationship, but I needed her to at least show up. And her answer was, "You have food on the table, you have clothes on your back." So when she said that, yo, this is me at 13 years old, asking my mom, why don't you show up to none of my stuff? And she tells me, you have clothes on your back, you have a roof over your head. I had to understand at 11, 12, 13 years old that my mom needed to go outside and grind before she could spend an hour or 2 hours in my games, my graduations, my performance, my anything that I had to do, right? And I made it a point, and that I go back to you, Bengali, when you said you're always thinking ahead and you always want more than what you have. I put the pressure as a man to have more than what I have just so I don't miss nothing that my sons are going on. So if my sons got a game, I need to make sure that my manager now told me I need you guys to create your work around your lifestyle, not your lifestyle around your work. To the point that he's like, we need to have a team enough, big enough to be able to, you just got to manage that team and you could spend more time with your lifestyle versus your job. And that's why I left the DOE and started working a nonprofit with amazing young people, amazing young black males to work for what? The forgotten middle. I was that forgotten middle, and I think we were all forgotten middles. It's that young kid that's in the back of the class. He may not be the lowest in the grade. He may not be the highest in the grade. He's right in the middle, but he don't talk. That's who I work for. That's who I yearn to work with. So when you say, yes, there was something missing. Yes, bro, there was something missing.
For sure.
Your pops was missing.
For sure.
Your mom's at all time couldn't make it to all your games. So yes, there was something missing.
Right.
But you're gonna make sure that when you have your kid, you never missing. And I think that's the generation we got growing up right
feel
now.
like-
Can I add on to this, brother,
Yeah.
real quick? I ain't gonna hold you. I think we had this convo a few times. The number one book I'm gonna recommend, and I need y'all to make sure y'all get at some point, Ways of the Superior Man. Right?
Ways of the
Yes.
Superior
Just
Man.
listening to that right
Superior
on my
man.
way here.
Yes,
Ways
sir.
of the Superior Man. There's a
Listen
chapter
to it
in
if you
there.
can't read it.
Yeah, listen to it if you
Yeah, I
can't
got
read
the
it.
audiobook.
Let it be your Bible. Every 6 months, refresh it, go back.
Yeah.
There's a chapter that says, act as if your father was dead, right?
That's it.
And reality is I lived that before I read the book.
Yes.
And I know that my cousins had to maybe read it more because they had their fathers in the house. My parents divorced at a young age, like before I walked into high school. So at a young age, I started to understand that the world really defeated my dad. My dad was depressed, maybe even suicidal. Who knows? I don't know.
Right.
My dad went through some stuff. Everybody say, "Oh, le grand bazo," but everybody don't know what he's struggling with by himself. My dad never remarried after a divorce. Usually you hear a guy will remarry, start a new family, whatever. My dad never remarried. And so I started to understand at a young age, I think my dad is depressed. He went through a lot. And I had this anger and resentment towards him. it was to a point where like I knew where my mom came from, the luxury she came from. I didn't want my mom's validation. Even though my mom is top 5, I love her to death. Like she's always showed up, she's always been there. I'm not even gonna front. My mom, all 4, 5 shelters we lived in our lives, my mother really pushed us through it and we got through it, you know what I'm saying? I think I got a lot of my resiliency through my mom.
100%.
But I didn't seek validation from parents because one, they had to die. And as the oldest son, where I'm from, I'm gonna have to bury them. So it's like I realized at a young age, they wouldn't understand where I'm going. They wouldn't understand what I want. But what they are gonna do is pray for me. What they are gonna do is say, "Papa, you bless," or you gonna go do this, you're gonna do that. I respect it. Right. I need that's the wisdom of my elders. If my mom is 55 years old, she got 55 years of wisdom. If my dad is 60 something, he got 60 something years of wisdom. Whether they together or not, I still seek that wisdom and I still cherish them. You know what I'm saying? So as far as validation, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. The older I got, it's like, fuck validation, bro. It's me. Because at the end of the day, they gonna need me more than I need them. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
The way
Ain't getting any younger.
The roles, it becomes role reversal.
Yeah, the way my mom washed me when I was a kid is the way I
Gonna
gotta
have to
wash
wash
her
them, right.
when she get older.
They
you
say
know?
old people
It's like
become
life.
babies when they grow old.
You know what I mean?
Yo, so let me I guess I'm
do
the
you
question
think-
asker right now, but you was gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say something because I was gonna finish right. So like, what I was saying, like, for us, like, that's why it's so hard sometimes to take compliments and shit, right? Like, I remember, I had a track meet. I was running, I don't know if it was either Junior Olympics or if it was Club Nationals. This when I was running track and field crazy. I invited Maury to come, right? So then Maury comes. It was you. I think it was you and April that day. Yeah. So like, I run the race. So this is when I was recovering from a hamstring like injury. So I'm running the race, get off the blocks, breathing. Run off, I feel my hamstring tweaking. Now everybody just passes me in last place. I'm running. Even the freaking person on the mic is like, oh, like, yo, this, it looked like Mr. Doumbia ain't gonna go nowhere, you know, like he's all the way in the back. And I'm just going, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like this injury about to get me again. So I'm just running, and I reach to like the 200, then I just hear this motherfucker hit.
I remember that shit too.
That's my brother! Run, nigga! Run! Run, Maury!
Finish what you
Niggas
started.
like, run! I'm like, yo, where this nigga at?
2 batteries
All
in
of
your
a sudden,
back.
That's it.
I see this motherfucker in the stairs like,
Black Mamba, let's go.
yo.
2
And
batteries in
funny
your
thing is,
back.
like, yo, we got to picture this shit when I
Hell
crossed the
yeah.
finish line. Like, I just picked up from like 150 meters behind.
I remember that shit.
Damn.
That adrenaline started kicking
2
in.
batteries in your back.
Hit that shit.
Yes, sir.
So you
That,
need it.
that was one of the best moments of my
In your
life.
life.
Bro.
Ooh.
When I finished, I'm like, yeah, man. Some people try to shake my. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
For
nigga.
sure. So let-
I did
let-
this
Nick,
shit.
Hold on, Mark. To piggyback what Mark said, like, for me, I only care about like what my close friends say,
Right.
like my cousins, my family, but no validation hits
Like home.
than your father, especially as a man.
Yeah. Right.
It's like you yearning for that.
For sure.
Because especially if that's the man you look up to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You always want your father validation. I don't care what any man says.
Yo, daddy called me, yo.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
That
Nah, it's
feels
crazy. I just seen my pops recently because he lives in Atlanta and shit, right? So we was chopping it up, and at first I had kind of like a little tension because
Resentment.
yeah, not even resentment. It's just me and him don't have the best, right? But like after we like hung out, had a conversation, I always have this feeling like he's a good guy. He just didn't understand, right?
Yes.
what he was doing.
And he didn't know what he was doing because he didn't have a father.
Yeah, that
right?
shit brand new to them.
So what I was gonna say, like everybody brought up a point. I realized that we're all gonna be way better fathers. Why?
Yeah.
Because of what we saw or what we didn't see, right?
Mhm.
So we're also in a space where it's also okay for us to be vulnerable as men too. So that's very helpful because we're gonna teach our kids to be a little, I wouldn't say softer, but a little bit more respectful to life, right?
Exactly.
Like not as like as we was, like you said, like we were really had to be aggressive just cause like, bro, I can remember times I had to just like off the bus. I went to private school, but as soon as I got to the Bronx, switch. Switch.
It's
When
the
I say
mentality. It's a
when I
war
say
zone.
bro, when
It's
I
a
say
war zone.
switch, I still have that switch in me.
You know the vibes.
Because I know the vibes. So where now it benefits me because I could talk in a, I could be around certain people and then I could go to the, and people see that shit in me like, I'm like, how the fuck you see that? But nonetheless, I say that to say, you feel me? there's no validation like that, but we're gonna be great fathers. I can hear,
Amazing.
just because we just kind of saw shit and was like, we're gonna do it different.
Amazing.
I mean, like we're blessed, bro.
And as you get older, you realize, you know what? I gotta look at me first
For sure,
before I even seek validation from my father.
for sure. You gotta make yourself happy.
Like for me, like me and my dad relationship, it didn't really take off until, like we had this bridging the gap, but it didn't really take off until I started understanding him and he started understanding me.
How old were you?
I want to say about like 25, 26.
You know why? Because you was a man.
Exactly.
So
And
all the shit that he did, that you was like, you started doing that shit.
And I'm like, oh, I get
you
why
started
he
saying
did that.
like,
And like,
damn, like
I remember I had this conversation with him. Like, remember I told y'all, like my brother, he raised me. I mean,
Right.
my dad, he raised me. My brother, that wasn't his.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking to him. I'm like, yo, bro. I remember we so close now. I
Right,
call
right,
him bro.
right.
I'm like, when you're looking at your father, you just looking at him like, this is my father.
Right.
But not realizing when I'm 5, you only 25.
Living your whole life.
What you expect out of this
I'm
25-year-old?
You only 25. I'm 30 and I don't have no kids yet.
That's a blessing because you're gonna be.
You 23 with 3 kids.
Tough.
That boy
So-
was working.
He was working.
Right. So I'm
OTV, so real.
Yo,
now
what?
I'm me now, and I
23
understand
with
your
3 kids,
perspective now.
crazy.
And he's like, yeah, bro. Like I had to.
Can I be honest with you? So my wife this month in a few weeks she about to give birth, right? And when we
Libra, baby.
I don't know yet. I don't know.
right.
Whenever he chooses to come out, he's gonna come out.
Whoever got
But-
it.
Brothers in the family.
Come on now.
I kept on saying to her at some point, like, I was like, yo, I would love to have a girl first. That was me.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had my little brother. My little brother, when your dad is in your life, you tend to raise your little brother.
For sure.
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 It just comes with
For
the
sure.
territory.
Shout out to bro.
And having a son will be facing myself.
Nope.
You
Like
don't want to see
for,
second you?
for me, no. This is my perspective.
Okay,
This is,
I'ma tell
this,
you.
No. And I want you to.
Yeah.
You to interject at some point, right? So I was like, yo, I want a girl because a girl is like unconditional love. She gonna love her daddy. That's me, right? That's that was my way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna be unconditional love, and I was like afraid to have a son because I felt like my little brother, I didn't really get to have little brother, big brother with him. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom always calling me if something's wrong or something's right, whatever, So sometimes it could be a lot overbearing. And with a son, it's like, damn, I know what you about to be doing out here in this world. You feel me? But her 6th month, my mom started to switch.
Yeah, bro.
Like I started to look within.
You gotta embrace it.
I started to look within and be like,
bro.
yo, God, you a good dude, bro.
Yeah.
You
My junior.
No, actually, you phenomenal, brother.
Bro.
You do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You just did what you had to do. You stayed within your square. You lived your life and you grew, right? And then boom, now I can't wait for this young man to come. I can't wait to be by his side for the next year, like for
Eternity,
eternity.
until you-
I just can't wait to experience him and his greatness and just being soft for him.
So
You know what I'm saying?
My wife told me before we had a son, before we had our kid, and I told Demi and I told the guys this, and I was like, there is no love that will ever match the love of your son. Ever. Your girls, your mother, your daughter. Because the love of a son, you just said it. He's gonna be the reflection of you.
For sure.
So he has to love everything about you to be able to copy everything about you. So my son allowed me to cry. I stepped on a deer. I drive upstate now, and I stepped on a rabbit, and I killed the rabbit. I had to go
Allegedly.
off the road. Bengali, you know me
Allegedly.
from high school. I got off the road
Allegedly.
to cry.
Don't sue my boy.
I love it.
You got off the road to
Wait, you
cry.
got
had
off
a
the
moment?
road to cry?
Right. But a simple fact that I was
Took a
like,
life.
yo, what if that was my son?
Yo, it's real out here, man.
What if my son brought me to be more vulnerable? My son brought me to therapy. My son brought me to be soft. My son brought me to not want problems. My son brought me to want to come home. I don't if I go to a club and you step on me, I'm telling you I'm sorry.
Take care of your kids.
I'm up.
My bad, bro. You stepped on me. My foot should have never been there. My foot should have been
Shit
back
crazy
there.
now.
If you knock
for
my
your
cup up,
babies.
this dumbass cup got there. But
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bad.
My fault, brother.
You
You feel me?
know,
Salam alaikum, brother.
My son isn't born yet, but you know what my son taught me? My son taught me that I'm already building a village for
Yes.
him. That when I'm gone, if Abulai sees my son in the street, he gonna be like, "Come over here."
Pela bless you,
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but I got caught up. But
He got excited.
if
He got
Maury
excited.
sees my son, right,
The coffee is
boom, right
coffee.
there, right, doing something, he gonna take him. 'Cause he gonna be
yeah.
like, "I know your pops, bro." And I'm indebted to your pops. You bugging. You're
You
not
don't
about to be.
belong
You're not about to be doing this. And this is the energy I give to people.
Facts.
Don't like anything that's around me, anything that's within my square, bro. It has to be correct. It has to be right.
Yep.
And if my little brother's around you, even when my little brother's around you, and he saluted you with his left hand, and I look at him crazy, he know he got to give you his right hand because that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he has to be. This to be a man is to be militant at some point. You know what I'm saying? You got to teach them
100%.
these codes when they're getting older. So that's the type of energy I want when my
Yo, how
You
you
was
how
bad
you,
when you was a kid?
I wasn't even bad.
Were you like active?
He was
That's
a
him
nice
right
one.
there.
You was active?
I was upstairs while they were downstairs.
yeah.
He was
Your
a
son
nice
gonna be
one.
killed.
I was
How-
upstairs.
My son bad. I'm gonna tell you.
I observed the hood.
gonna-
I wasn't in the hood.
You're gonna
He's a
love him,
watcher.
but your
He
son,
was a watcher.
my kid bad as shit. He
I
gonna
see.
be
I
bad.
see him on the
we
Insta.
He
was
gonna be.
active.
He bad.
I ain't gonna
Yo,
lie, man.
how
At
do-
our age, we were very like advanced.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, we
You
knew
had
how
to be.
Why are
No,
you
but
knocking
like-
out a dude for
no,
staring
like-
at you, bro?
Bro.
It's crazy.
But it's just that's where we from,
You
bro.
had to
that's
be,
where
though.
we from, bro.
Crazy
Crazy
now.
No, but
The
you
knockout
know,
challenge.
as I watch my cousin
Right.
grow,
Had to
right?
be, bro.
Active,
And
bro.
you know, we 1 year apart, right? So
That's validation from your peers, though.
no, like
that
we-
shit right there is
no,
validation.
yeah, beautiful.
yeah.
Yo, we was just downstairs and I looked at his style. I said the evolution of Maury. I said you went from sagging your pants to your pants being on your waist. This shit is beautiful.
To
I remember
showing
the
ankles.
I remember
Instead
the
of ass.
conversation.
Move ass.
This guy had a,
The ladies
you-
appreciate
you
it.
guys remember when we had the,
Moisturize.
you remember when we had the
Moisturize
baggy
ankles.
sneakers and we like
Bad.
tied within our laces and stuff?
understand.
This man had a little fro, his baggy sneakers. He just
Oh, yeah, the
running
fro.
these streets.
Right.
Oh,
And then
man,
one
that
day
fro.
my mom sat him down. This is why I say,
Yo, chill.
my mom said to this dude, she said, look,
Get your shit together.
she says either college or jail. What do you want?
Pick
Like
one
she
at
said,
the
it's
same
either
time.
you live or you die. What do you want? This man went to college, and ever since then he ain't looked back again.
No.
And that's why I say the evolution of Maury. That's why every time you see me with this guy, I salute you. I'm proud of you. That's my best man. That's the godfather to my kid. So like, bro, I say this because the evolution is strong, it's powerful, and it's like sometimes you may not see it in yourself, so you gotta let other people tell you.
So imagine
Like
your-
me and him.
You know what I mean?
But
Imagine your kid starting up with your maturity. Like we started immature. Your kid is gonna start from being mature. So imagine how much your son could do with what you already have accomplished.
Right.
All right, man.
You not started. We didn't. What we started off. We started off with Gun Hill Projects. We started with a Vanderchild campus, and we started with nonsense in the streets. Our kid is starting from. You went to college. You graduated. You are dean to a
The
school.
ball is set.
You know what I'm saying? So
bar
they
is
start
way
there.
different now.
So
For
now
sure.
imagine how
Way
much they
different
could
now.
do for the next generation that comes after them.
Right.
But let me chime in really
Playing them
quick,
seeds.
right? But you got a son, right?
I got 3, brother.
3.
He was,
You got
he was working
three,
early.
brother.
You got 3.
He a militant man, bro.
He about to have a son.
Yes, sir.
So we know we was raised with a present father to some degree. Like, he was
100%.
there, but he was there.
Yeah, he did what he could.
He did what he could.
Yeah,
But
he did what he could.
I would say that one of the best things my dad ever taught me was his craft. So like I tell y'all right now, if y'all have sons, teach them something. He taught me his craft.
A trade.
A trade, for sure.
College was a choice, bro.
Yeah.
Like I went to college, I got my engineering degree. They had this software engineering. I still went back to the craft he taught me.
At Columbia University, by the way.
You know what I'm
Say
saying?
that again.
At Columbia University.
So it's like
Talk about
Good
it.
shit.
That's my brother.
Talk about
love. Appreciate the love. So I'm just telling you right now, like, you about to have a son, you got a son. Anybody in here watching this right now, if you got a craft, please teach them. Why I say this? Because I used to be an engineer and I resigned after COVID, and I didn't even panic. People like, "More, what you gonna do?" I said, "Bro, I'm gonna go back to fixing cars."
That's it.
It was so simple. I didn't even.
A seat.
I'm telling you, like, I got my coding degree and all
I
that.
need my car fixed.
I just, yo, I literally sat
telling
Bring it to the shop.
Yo, serious, I literally
Shameless
sat
plug,
down
I'ma
one
use
day. I didn't even panic. Oh, where am I getting my income from? I literally was talking to my roommate, Muhammad. I said, which is my brother. I said, bro, I'm going back to fixing cars again. Like, for what? I said, I just want to.
That's
Got to
it.
back up.
You got to.
And then
you got to back up.
because
That's
my
it.
dad was old, I inherit our family business, the shop. And I literally just took over, did my own thing. But one day I was sitting down, I was like, yo, like, I did all of this just to come back to my origin.
And ain't nothing wrong with it.
You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Yo, sometimes
it's
God
crazy,
send you on
like,
that trip though.
And you know the crazy part
got
is,
to.
Sometimes
we work-
God send you on that trip, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you
It's
gotta
crazy,
go
bro.
see other shit. Like I'm in a place where I'm like, I'm on that, still on that. Like, right, but life kind of brought me full circle. I didn't see a lot of shit that was just brought to me. Like, it was just like, you kind of like stumble upon stuff based off, like you said, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but like you kind of just walk into it.
Real.
Because shit is written on your heart, bro.
Right.
Like, I feel like who you're supposed to be is written on your heart, right? Like, I always say this to people, because like Beyonce, yeah, she was kind of Beyonce, but everybody's not gifted that.
Nope.
Like,
Nor gritty enough to even be disciplined to do that.
because the discipline is just as good as the God's
yes.
gift, because you don't get the gift if you don't put the discipline. You
I
feel
know
me?
my gift
So-
was basketball
you know-
until I saw a nigga in
know-
fucking LaGuardia 6'6", and I was like, yeah, this
know
ain't
what's
for
good
me,
too,
dog.
though.
Sure, and that's okay, because I feel like also
Feel me?
I had this conversation with a lot of people, especially my peers who are athletes. Like early on, black men, like I'm a sports agent, so I see a lot of players who be like, "Yo, put me on." Like, bro, you're 6 feet. What am I doing for you? Like, if
Nothing.
you're not better than me, what am I doing? But that's a bad dream, because, like my brother's here, there's so many other outlets in this world. So I really feel like when I become a father, I want to see like where my kid is, right up until a certain point. 8th grade, if the sports just ain't clicking and you ain't about to be 6'5",
You
we
gotta do
about to
something
find
else.
something else, buddy, because we gonna do it
or
in high school,
expose
but.
them. Or
That's it.
expose
That's the
them
point I'm making.
from young,
from early. Yeah, kids got to have more than one thing.
Exactly.
Because as an athlete, I was trying to find
and the
that.
thing is with Dave, right, bro? This man and you too, like both of y'all. I just see that you've been messing with the cameras from young. Like, yo, I swear to God,
was always
when
there.
people was getting light, he was getting light. But the thing is he used to edit his own videos. He used to edit his own video. Yo, bro, you've been doing this for a
Boy, that
minute.
shit was
He
nice.
used to edit his own videos.
I have
and,
stole
like,
Mom Dude's camera.
I mean, yo, he used
stole
to edit
Mom's
everything,
camera.
and I'm looking at this
Got
kid.
his niche.
Yeah, you
I'm
got
like,
it.
yo, this is when as you grow older. I'm 29, about to go into 30. You grow older, and you're like, you've been doing this. You know, I'm 29, but I only been on Earth for 29 seconds. In the eyes of God, when you think about it, it's not that long,
Exactly.
right? And I'm looking at it like, yo, bro, you've been mastering your craft for a minute.
Yes, sir.
You know, even you, when I reposted that video of you doing that car, bro, the reason why I say I'm fucking proud of you is because you are mastering your craft.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is fine. It is okay. Like, bro, you are doing the damn thing. Sometimes you may not see a dime to your craft in the moment.
Yeah.
You think a millionaire that you see just became a millionaire overnight? You're
Take time.
bugging, bro.
That's what JC said it best. He said, yo, I made my first album when I was 28 years old. 29 years old, I ain't get a dime till I was like 31. So I didn't realize my craft was mentoring young youth. And that's my craft. I thought I was supposed to be, I went to LaGuardia Community College for physical therapy until I saw how much science that shit had. And I said, nope, I'm out. And then became a para. After a para, became a mentor. And I know that my craft is to mentor young men of color. And that's just how I'm going to mold it. If I have to open up a school one day, if I have to, but that's my craft and that's how I'm going to mold. And perfect example is that. It may take time, dog. It may not be, you may not know right now. You may be doing this. This may not be it for you, but you're going to find it. When you find it, you just got to
And it's
abuse
gonna
it.
come out of nowhere.
Facts.
You gotta like just not be afraid to like take a leap of faith. Like we were blessed enough to be raised in a household where we seen our dad grind and hustle. Like
Facts.
we seen
Or your moms.
like
Facts. Big facts.
yeah, that's a fact.
Big fact.
Like we seen our dad come home and only sleep for an hour and get the fuck out the house.
Facts.
Like
That's a fact.
we seen our dad manage 3 businesses at the same time while everybody abandoned this man, yo. Like bad, bro. Like we seen the good, the ugly, the sad, the happy,
They didn't let us
like
feel none of that.
everything, bro. Like and they never let it affect us.
They never let
Like
us
they
feel
always
none of that.
brushed it off. Like honestly, even for me, like I feel like I really just for the first time got my dad's respect last year.
Talk about it.
That's
Yeah.
a fact.
You feel
That
me?
validation.
Yeah, like that validation that I've been always seeking. And when I got it, I was like, bro, it was there already.
I
Why
did
the
my-
fuck was I mad? Like,
But men are nonverbal.
yeah,
though.
like it was there already because like,
gonna be like, yo,
I remember sometimes like,
like-
all right, so I would tell my dad an idea, something I want to do, right? But I wasn't doing it. So when I'm talking to him, he was
not
like,
hearing it.
oh yeah, I already did this when I was young in this age. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started like really doing the shit I told him I was gonna do now. He's like, oh shit.
You gotta think about it like this.
like,
Our
he
parents,
really-
our
see it.
parents,
Yeah,
look-
like,
yeah,
our
feel me?
parents
So
look
that's
at
what
us
it
like,
takes.
if I had all the shit that you have now,
Yeah.
I'll be the Elon Musk
My
of
dad
this
tell me that all
generation.
the time. He'd be like, "Yo, if I have 3 kids, I would have been a millionaire."
Yo,
Kids.
that's
That's
everybody.
nothing,
Everybody trying
man.
to see in hindsight though.
What boy I got right now?
I think
14?
right now we 15 strong. We were
15 strong.
17.
You
but
got
we
15 siblings.
15.
My father,
Word.
my
That's wild.
mother.
Because he has 3 wives.
He was working.
That's what happened with my
wives.
grandmother's
You know?
father had 35 kids from different.
But that's nothing. Our uncle had like
Coño.
35.
Yeah.
35 kids.
35 kids.
Absolutely
He lived in
not.
a village.
Absolutely.
He was pregnant.
not.
He impregnated the whole village. That sound like.
Bro,
some
I mean, he's the only
You
one
talk
with
shit.
sugarcane factory. So
Oh, he big dog.
Wildin'.
He the big dog. All right, so everybody
never
gonna throw
felt
that.
that.
Shooting everything.
Hey, he could afford. He
He
could
never-
afford to have
And- and-
35
to this
kids.
And but that goes into the conversation of when
Grandpa
as
was-
the men that we are becoming today, we are men now that I'm not okay with 35, 14 kids. I'm sorry.
Bro, what?
I could, because you know why? As a man, it's okay to be selfish with yourself. It's okay to say, I'm going to take care of myself.
Had to learn that.
I'm going to groom myself. No.
Learn
And also, to know your worth. Because we live in a society today where a lot of people want to tell you what your worth is or you're not worthy or whatever. Know your worth. Because any brother that come near me, I'm going to speak life into you.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, bro. You telling me you have a hard time in your relationship. Either we patching it up to work it out, but if somebody's not seeing your worth and stuff like that, let's move on and let's
gotta
escalate.
find
Let's
peace.
move forward. All right, cool. We in God's body. So with that being said, I need to be present. I need to be selfish enough also to be present with just my kids that I have. You know, like a lot
I
of
agree
times
with that.
I love my uncles for having, you know, all the cousins we have. But it's a lot of times those cousins have traumas.
For sure.
Just
Right.
because of an absent father.
sure.
And a lot of times we believe that it's because we put food on the table. Nah.
I say this all the time. Kids need time.
And
Yo,
all
I
my
was gonna
life,
say-
you know what I yearned
earlier I
from
was
my
gonna say
dad,
that.
bro? I just wanted to talk to him.
That's it.
I didn't need my dad to give me money. I just
that's
wanted to hear I love you.
Right.
The best moment in my life growing up was when my dad took me to Times Square. He bought me Allen Iverson Reebok sneakers. And I got to hang out with my dad.
That's it.
It's the best feeling.
Bro,
like that
can
is
I,
crazy,
when
bro.
I tell y'all, like, that's all I wanted.
It's the small things.
And you didn't even have to give me the
small
sneakers.
I just wanted to hold your hand,
Right,
bro.
right.
And even till today, when my dad calls me, there's something inside of me that like cries a little. Like, man, I love you, bro.
Yeah.
I love you, bro.
A lot of men don't
You
got
my
that.
bro.
Right,
Like,
right,
my
right.
dad is
That's
my
my
bro.
nigga.
Like
Right.
that ass.
Yo.
Me and my dad now on the phone. I'm like, yo, look at this politics, man. And you see this, and then you see this,
I'll be on the phone with him for an hour.
and then my dad, my
I'm gonna
parents.
manifest that. I'm gonna have that.
I'ma
with
be
my
honest
pops
with
in
you.
years.
You gonna have that with Jay?
Yo, come on, bro.
100%.
My dad literally, ever since my parents were divorced, my dad never said nothing bad about my mother. Anytime I had an altercation with my mom and I called my dad, he said, hey,
That's your mom.
your blessings are under your mother's feet. Your blessings are under your even when my mom is talking smack about him, your blessings are under your mother's
Facts.
feet.
My dad.
And I'm like, yo, like
My
you
mother-
not,
my
you
mother
not
be
You not
telling-
mad? You not
you
mad
know?
with me, dog?
And honestly, sometimes recently I told my mom, you gotta understand, my love for you has grown so much. It's also because of my father, because he spoke life into me for you.
For you, right.
You know, and she growing older and she realizing how much he was worth. Even after years of divorce, like damn, if I knew what I knew, I'd still be with your pops.
That's deep shit.
If I knew what I knew,
deep
I'd
shit.
still be with your
Well,
I
father.
said it the other way around recently. I said that I would never want my mom to be with my dad based on the person my dad is. I like the dynamic didn't work, right? So this is a contrary to that, right? Because that's amazing. But my mom had to step up in a role, and I felt like the person my dad has developed to be, she wouldn't have appreciated that. She might have pushed him, but would he have been receptive, right? Again, men being receptive to what you said earlier about the people who breathe life into you, right? Because like sometimes I feel like my dad is like just a stubborn person, and that's okay. Like men are men. But I was like, as a grown up, I'm like, damn, I'm great because she's happy.
That's it.
Like she accomplished a lot of shit way before he did.
That's facts.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, he would have fucked that all up, and she would have been resentful. My life might not have been as smooth because like I had a good life even if my dad wasn't there. So I think sometimes you gotta look at it from different perspective. Just for perspective, I think I like
you
that.
said something right there where like she could have pushed him, right? But if he would have moved, right?
If he would have been receptive.
Bring the horse to the
but
water, can't
there's
make
some
him drink.
there's
Can't
some
make him drink.
qualities about your pops that you may have.
I do.
That you exuberate, but in a positive way.
1,000%.
Even for you to say you're a sports agent, there comes a certain level of discipline.
For sure.
This is not you clocking in. This is you keeping other
work for
people
yourself.
accountable. This is
Yeah.
you got that resiliency from Mom Dukes.
For
You
sure.
feel me? From what
For
you
sure.
what you saw and stuff. But there's certain silent qualities.
No, it's not
that
silent, it's loud.
No, silent quality.
You hear it?
Like
That's
no,
it.
I'm just saying from like
People see me like, you sound like your pops. I'm like,
from
damn,
like
nigga.
dad, like you know,
Yeah.
like for me, for example, I used to
face, bro.
realize.
Oh, shit, me too.
I always go to the shop and I'm quiet and I'm very observant about everybody in the room.
Right.
That comes from my dad. If anyone knows my dad in the community, he's a gentle giant.
Right,
But he
right.
could break down everybody psychologically.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom is who? She's the life of the party. She's
Right, right,
outside.
right.
She's here.
Right.
Everybody love her. The energy is there. But we have these qualities from our parents as men, even when they're not there for us.
1,000%.
You just gotta embrace that. Damn, they like look at LeBron, bro.
Yeah.
You don't.
I wanna know what
hear
LeBron's
this
dad
man
was.
bash his pops ever.
Ever.
Never, ever.
Ever.
But what he did was
Ever.
become a great father.
Oh my
publicly.
God.
To
Amazing
the
father.
world.
Amazing
I'm
father.
sorry,
The
bro.
best.
LeBron could do no wrong to
No,
me.
no,
Like,
no, no.
World.
I want to ask
Daddy of
a
the year.
question though, right?
Daddy of the year.
What do y'all feel is like the factors that hinders you from your growth as a man?
For me personally,
Marijuana.
nah, I don't smoke though. But I hear you.
No, I'm talking about me. I'm sorry.
No, yo, for me, and I'm speaking for me, my pride and ego.
Ego.
For me,
That's it.
personally, for me, it's my pride. My pride be on 1,000, bro.
That's it.
I cannot back down, bro. Now, like, especially I work, because right now, like I said, I inherit our family business. So I work every day with my dad, 6 days a week.
Right.
His pride is on 2,000. My pride's right there. Because I'm his reflection. So he looks at me, he sees a mirror, right?
Right.
I just can't back down. And then the hardest thing for him is like, yo, dad, I got this, bro.
Right.
Accepting he
The
getting
trust.
older.
You gotta trust.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but
like
I
my
can't do
dad,
this no
he
more.
left the business for a year. He went to Africa for a year. And
Living his best life.
living his best life is otherwise. It's what it is, what
Couple
it
more
is,
babies
right?
out there.
I look at the analytics of the business.
Two more. Drop them.
coming back from my background, he invested all this money into me. Go here, travel here. Know all these stuff. But he don't want me to use it, right? He comes back, the money I made, he couldn't even believe.
Wow.
I had no oil in my hands, bro. The money I made, he could not believe. And that's the pride, because pride is a good thing too, because I feel like men without pride do shady shit.
For sure.
So I feel you gotta have some pride.
Some
man.
morals.
It's there for a
Yeah.
reason.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I tell
works
people all
in
the
different
time,
ways.
when a man got no pride, no ego, be careful,
It's
man.
there,
He sell his
it's
soul, bro. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Sell his
the
soul.
That's
Stand
a fact.
off,
Piggy on that
stand
though,
for
but
no
no,
off
like
anything.
yo, to pick
Real,
I
bro.
feel like yo, I ain't gonna lie, like even if you have pride too, you need to have people around you who can humble you
You
Facts.
just
Facts.
control it.
to make sure like you
Or life
understand.
will humble you before.
Yeah, you feel me?
know,
Like you always gotta have people there to humble you.
I'ma
like,
tell you who
at
humbles
all
my ego.
Times. This nigga humbles the shit out of my ego. Though. I
I'm
ain't
gonna tell you who
lie.
humbles my ego.
Feel me?
It's a 5'2" Puerto Rican chick. My wife.
Or
Every time.
But you know, this. I was
Balance, bro. Life is about
I was
balance.
listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I will never forget. Like 3 years ago, he said, especially for men, this is a sermon for men. He said, men need to have. There's 3 C's: a confidant, a constituent, and a comrade.
For the mic.
In your life, a confidant, a constituent, and a comrade. In your lifetime, as men specifically, if you have 3 confidants, you did it. That means these group of people that you're confiding into, they don't care about your status. They don't care about the money you bring in. They just care about you. Like, I care about you, your well-being. Whatever you walk into, I will support it. Whatever you fight, I will fight it. If I need to tell you fucked up, you fucked up. That's your that's your confidant. Your constituent are people that will work for you. They're not your confidants. Just because you hire them, just because y'all work besties,
Business.
it's business. Your constituent will leave you for the next opportunity,
Absolutely.
and that's okay. You
For the
gotta be
best
fine. You gotta
opportunity.
you gotta be fine with that.
Gotta
Business is
understand
But
that.
your confidant is still there.
Yeah, put them
Your
down.
comrade. Your comrade is willing to collab with you to take down a common enemy, but will after that they destroy that enemy,
they
they're
gone.
back to being your enemy. So understand, I can do business with you to take day out.
But after that,
Not literally. After that, once day is out, you're my
This is me and you,
competition.
yo.
now. So as men, if you get at least 3 confidants, like I always tell Maury, you're one of my confidants. That means we don't gotta talk every day.
But I know you there.
I know your well-being. Yo, bro, you need a smoothie? Yo, bro, you good? You valid? You all right? You chilling? How's your mental? I know that sometimes when he needs to talk, he come to my crib, he just talks. Because I know he don't talk. So he just needs somebody to just run every idea on and then be like, okay, he resolves all the situations because he's talking it out loud.
Now his battery back
Now,
full. Good.
and it's like, now we good. So you're confident. And as a man, I've learned that because most men, like the Minister Louis Farrakhan said, when you see men fall, watch.
Don't laugh.
Don't laugh.
Facts.
Learn.
Sure.
Like, watch. Because on your way to the top,
You gonna
what got them
fall.
tempted, whatever, you're
gonna
still
see it.
human.
It's gonna be right there.
You feel me? So make sure, like, especially as men, but if we leave this place today, just like, go back to your confidence. See, like, hold up, let me.
Check in
When
with
the
your
last time I tested you, nigga?
Right.
That's it.
Like, you
But,
really
you know,
about it?
But the thing is too, like he said, what hinder us as men, and I feel like for me again, I just think that, like I had one of his students, BG got me to mentor one of his students named James Swindell, great kid. And he was in the shop for a while, and then I watched this kid. The kid was me though, like some of the flaws I had, he had, and some of the pros I had, he had. And I remember like pride and ego, bro. That's why I don't know if you ever read a book about The Art of the World by Sun Tzu.
Hell yeah.
He said, yo, to know who you are
Yes, sir.
and what you are and how you are are the most powerful answers to any man to know. A lot of us don't know what we are. A lot of us don't know who we are. And a lot of us don't know how we are. How are you around your friends? How are you around a lady?
Until you know yourself, you can't make somebody else happy.
You know what I'm saying?
can't.
So how do you
can't.
grow
It's impossible.
without answering those questions?
Yeah.
So I feel like for a man to grow, you have to do a lot of soul searching, right?
absolutely.
You have to. That's why, it's like especially with the ladies now, right? This is this movie where girls are getting this shit together. Like I went to his little brother, my little cousin's graduation. These girls are not playing. They hitting it with vengeance.
Agreed up.
I realized that shit 3 years ago when you
Right.
drive down the streets and all you see is females driving.
Very. So a lot of these ladies
Like, what a
are
guy.
not playing.
Driving Benzes and shit.
I have a lot of lady
Shout out to
customers who they're not even joking with nobody.
Nope.
They ain't wasting no time. Now, again, ego and pride. Now you meet a woman like that, you don't got your shit together.
You gotta step up.
You're not even step up. A lot of dudes will feel what? Demasculated.
Yeah, the masculine,
Feel
right?
motivated.
Yes,
man.
sir.
You can't.
I feel-
they
It's
not even
can't
like
appreciate-
that.
Got that
shit right.
But that's because you got your shit right,
gotta-
though.
yeah.
You feel me?
But
you-
she's entitled to that. That's her right as a human
She is.
being.
She is.
So now as a man now, again, ego and pride.
And you can't feel bad either.
A lot, but that's the thing. You got to check that. You stand and ask yourself, okay, what did she do to get there? How can you teach me?
For sure.
Oh, I ain't asking no girl that.
100%.
Ooh,
Nah,
ego
hell
and
no.
pride.
that was-
You got to.
That was a battle.
They got
That
the
was a
keys,
battle me and my wife had when we got married. My wife made more than me. And the battle in the household will always be the battle will always be because she will tell me, yo, you got to pick that up. And the back of my mind would be like,
Is it
you telling me because you make more than me? You feel me?
Real shit, though.
And it will, but not realizing that she don't make more than me. Our incomes are combined when we enter a household. We got a house together. We got a car together. But you know what made me realize that? When I had my son together. She couldn't have my son without me. I couldn't have it without her.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when I realized that, yo, this is for us together, and I got another job, I realized I was like, all right,
Nigga, you ain't gonna be walking around here talking about shit about
feel me?
pick shit up
But
on
the
floor.
pride
You
of
pick that
us
shit up
as
off the
men
floor.
is like, you make more than me, so I have to feel
dog,
like
man.
every time you give me a directive, whether it's for my good or for my bad, or whether it's you trying to shit on me or not, is that because you make more than me, you telling me to do this. And I had to check that, and to answer your question, it's the baggage we carry.
Yeah.
The amount of baggage we carry throughout childhood. What is the first thing they tell you when you hit 18? You got to get a job,
Right.
and you got to move out.
Right.
When my son hits 18, I need my son to have a bank account, a credit set, and you can stay in my house as long as you want to, as long as you are doing what you're supposed to
Gotta
be
do
doing.
something.
And even if you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, we're going to get you right to do whatever the heck it is that you're going to be doing that's correct. So my mother told me as soon as I had 18, you got to get a job or you got to go to school. I was like, why do I have an option? Why can't I go do music? Or why can't I go do fashion? That's what I like to do. But my mother couldn't afford for me to just go to do fashion or me just afford me to go to music. So I have to make sure that when my son hits 18, you have enough to go and be like, yo, daddy, I want to just go and fuck with cars. and I have to make sure I fund you for as long as you need to go and do cars if that's the trade that you want. Now, if I feel like you're wasting my money, you wasting time,
That's a
now it's a
fact.
different
Yeah,
story.
I agree.
That's why I appreciate this man so much, because him giving Jalen checked me, because the boy looked at me so much like, yo, Maury, I like the way you got your thing. I like the way you lie. God started.
Now you.
He wanted
now
to get my
somebody's
stylist
watching
and all
you.
that. And one day, and this was the craziest reality check for me. I had a disrespectful customer coming from where I come from. Man, it's game time, man. I ain't about to play with this dude. You know how I get, right? But then I got this little boy watching me.
You gotta set an example.
My pride and ego, I gotta like, ugh. And he like, I said, bro, see, when you get customers like that, you just play cool. If he wasn't there, it would have been game time.
But you go into the office and you like, motherfucker.
Yo, I'll close them gates.
You feel
All
me?
my employees in there, they already know what's up. We close them gates.
But you know,
It be like that, man. Sometimes.
when you speak about your wife making more than you, I've been in that situation before where my wife is older than me. You know what I'm saying?
They
And,
know more than us.
That's tough.
No,
By
it
default.
also shows where I was at personally in life, you know. And a lot of women struggle with finding a man. That's real. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Like that's a fact.
It's more than us.
real
Yeah,
man.
like don't let social media gas you up. A lot of women actually have a hard time finding a man, which is not their fault. It's also too like the men. There's not enough mentorship.
They don't got no
Not enough-
options.
There's not a
It's
good,
not- there's
enough
not-
good option.
There's not enough mentorship of men. So like
Fact.
it's really hard. And since this is not a generation of today, so people need to stop this. Oh, the generation of now. This has been a forever thing. There are more women than men on earth. It's just this is how this world.
3 to 1.
Now we just got cameras and social
Five.
media and technology to show.
I don't wanna-
Five to
Right?
one.
Yeah.
So
That's the ratio.
so as I grew older and I started to
On the side of the
understand,
fence, so now the ratio goes up.
once you start to understand finances and stuff like that, you understand like actually that's not one of the most important things.
It's not.
So as a man, right, it's important that you know how to make money. It's important that you know how to provide.
And say,
Because let's say your wife does get pregnant. What happens?
safe.
What if she has a sensitive pregnancy
Which she
where
did.
she can't work?
Wish you could.
Within those 9 months, it's your duty to provide. You know what I'm saying? Postpartum is a real ass thing. Postpartum don't really hit till after 6 months. I don't even have my kid yet, but I know these things. It don't really hit till after 6
It
months.
could hit before.
But-
It could hit when you're
but-
pregnant.
But let's just say she doesn't even want kids, or she can't have kids because fertility journey is a different conversation, right? Or y'all just having a complicated time. What if she gets sick? As a man, it is your duty to provide. Like I'm gonna get a little spiritual on this one. When God created man, if you go to the gym with a woman, your back is gonna always be bigger than hers, physically. No matter how big her back, she wants her back to be, it cannot be big like yours.
Science.
Genetically, science, it can't.
Right.
But what the power of the woman is this. If a man carries everything, she's on the back and says, baby, we don't need this right now. Let's put this to the side. Baby, nah.
Balance
This is
everything
this
out.
is excess baggage. I don't need.
God
We don't
forbid
need
you
this.
don't listen.
In order to
She
keep the balance,
sees
bro.
things, right?
can't-
Especially your wife, right? Or your mother. They see things you don't see.
we can't see.
You know what I'm saying? So as a man, it is imperative. All this battle I see on social media about like men talking about like, oh, what did she be? Shut up. Because I didn't understand it
Get that
because
shit the
I didn't
fuck
understand
outta
it because if my wife got sick, right, bro, like I gotta be able to take care of her, and it's
sure.
my duty.
It's
It's my job.
right? Because
It's
it
saying-
goes the
I've-
other way too.
I've watched my wife, real talk,
other way too.
go through seizures through this pregnancy, bro. I've been at the hospital. I texted him like, yo, bro, I'm at the hospital. This is what happened. Boom, boom. I'm just letting you know so you know where I'm at. If anything happens, if you try to get across to me, there's no connection at the hospital. Boom. But this is me being a man now. Like, now I'm like, yo, she works. But I'm like, nah, you're not going to work right now.
Can't.
Chill, bro.
Can't afford that.
Chill. She wake up one morning and she a little tired. No, you're not going to work
got
today.
you.
Chill. You good. And it pushed me, right, as a man, have the various hustles, have my main job, it's okay, you
Back
know what I'm
on your
saying?
shit.
Keep building. And it pushed me to excel. And I ain't gonna lie, when a man has responsibility, that's why as young people, even with young men, you gotta give them responsibilities at a young age. So they're not scared of those responsibilities.
Teach them
when
how to
they grow old.
survive.
They don't run.
Teach
That's why
them
when a
to,
woman
bro.
comes and she's sure of herself, some young men run because they're like, damn, I'm not too used to this. I'm not too
Right.
used to a woman being too sure.
pressure, right.
And then with my wife, she's sure of herself, and then she meets me, and I'm sure too.
Right.
What's up? My
Right.
daddy been gone.
Those arguments
So I had
is
to
crazy.
I had to be a man at a young
Yeah,
age.
right.
So I
Yeah.
know me now.
Yeah.
But now I need to know the healing version
Yep.
of me, which you're going to you've exposed me to. You know what I'm saying?
Enhance
I knew that I needed to be healed, but you've exposed me even more to this, and now I'm becoming even more of a man. Right now, bro, can nothing stop me? I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I'm like, yo, bro, where I'm at, I told him, I said, lately, my life been silent. And he said, yo, it's a good thing, bro, if your life is silent. Because that means you could handle shit.
What do bears do when winter hit?
Hibernate.
Right.
So you hibernate as a man too. So a female, when a strong female comes your way, you ever seen those bulls when they fight each other back to back? It be that for the first 2 years of your life. It's that battle that you can never win. It's that I want to win, but you want to win too. So we're not gonna win. So we're just gonna stay here and be mad at each other.
Stalemate, right.
So one thing me and my wife said to each other was like, yo, the day we go to sleep to each other, the day we go to sleep mad at each other, that'll be the day that we got to wake up in the morning and have that uncomfortable conversation. And now we're going to work mad at each other. So the conversations needs to be held to the point that, all right, my mother told me don't be scared of work ever in your life. We used to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and not be home till 2 o'clock in the night. So my mother told me how to not be afraid. My grandmother told me to be gentle. My wife told me to humble myself. Because when I came into my wife, I was rah, rah, rah. I was that I thought I was that dude. And then here comes this, though she knows she's been had her son since she was 22. She's been by herself since she was 22. She's had her son for 6 years, raising him by himself, struggling, one meal, this meal. So here I come thinking that my struggles are higher than yours, but you've been doing this. So now I got to come in here and humble myself and be like, yeah, my struggle has been up there and we can match them, but your struggles is real. Your struggles is real life situations. So as for my wife, I've always, and I probably don't tell her this enough, I have to salute her every single day of my life.
Salute her.
Because the simple fact that she has done things for herself that has told me how to go to therapy. My wife told me for 6 months, go to therapy, go to therapy, go to therapy. You know what my ego did? Man, I'm going to go to therapy when I want to go to therapy. And it came to one point that I was just in my car and I was crying for no reason. I was just driving, crying for no reason. And I'm like, why the fuck am I crying? I didn't kill no rabbit today. I didn't kill no deer today. My son is fine. The wife is, but what am I, what is, I was like, I gotta go talk to somebody.
So how do you overcome your ego and pride in those situations?
I'm still working on it. You still work on it. You still work on it every day. Now, what I do is, she wins 98% of the arguments, even if she's wrong. And then you know what happens later on? She realizes that she was wrong and she'll come to me
Can
and be
you
like,
change that word, though, argument? Let that be hard conversations.
hard conversation.
You're not arguing. You're
Right.
having hard, difficult
So when those hard
conversations.
conversations,
it.
come about, we will have those conversations. And whether she's right or she's wrong, I'll be like, you know what? All right, you got it. I'm the type of nigga that would be like, yo, you got it. All right, you got it. Right. But I'm also the same nigga that would be like, I'm sorry first. She told me how to, even if she doesn't do it, I do it. I'll be like, yo, my bad. My fault. Just because I know that tension in the house is going to go for 48 hours,
woman got
72.
pride too, right?
The woman's pride, you think we got pride?
That shit worse. That shit way
I
worse.
killed my power.
Accountability is like
You
kryptonite.
think, bro, you think we have pride as men? Woman's
Like
pride
kryptonite.
is at 150%.
I killed
I love a woman with some pride.
I killed
Until you marry them.
No, he toxic.
So-
listen,
so-
Nigga toxic.
he chatting.
He like everything that's
I don't know
wrong.
what he's
So-
talking about. Look,
Marry them.
No, the
No.
pride is something that I don't know. Having a single mom, I think my pride was long. I really feel like I'm different from y'all, like from many ways. Like I feel like I've watched y'all evolution, y'all watch my evolution. If anything, you saw me more become manlier over the years. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because I was raised with my mom. Mom, I was a mama's boy.
So you saying
the late bloomer.
You know?
That's deep. That's deep. I don't feel like I was a
look,
mama's boy.
I was
close to my
street
mom, so
smart.
I'm like,
I was smart enough. I was
So are you saying in comparison? Not saying that you soft, but you were like in the crib and they was outside.
No, I said it before.
You did say that before.
No, I said that.
I'm just
the
reiterating.
thing is, I knew I was never. Huh?
You know your lane.
I knew my lane. I knew that on my block where I was from. I knew where I was from in the South Bronx. I knew where I was from. I knew I was friends with every Crip, Blood, Latin King, Patria, all them kids.
Gali can fight,
I was,
though. Don't let
but
her
the
fool
thing
you,
is,
yo.
I was. But the thing is,
them
I was a
fight.
big guy. I never knew my strength.
You gotta know yourself.
You know, I went to track. I did football. I did boxing. I did anything in lanes to discipline myself.
Right.
Because again, I didn't know. You knew you could fight because you was fighting all the time.
100%.
I didn't know I could fight till I got into the boxing ring.
You forget who our father was, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Your father was Mike Tyson. But that's another conversation about manhood, right? So I didn't learn. I had to place myself in situations to think that was what was manhood. You know, so a lot of times being raised by a woman,
You don't.
I tapped into my feminine side at a young age.
Me too.
Like feeling my feelings.
Yeah.
Like feeling my feelings. You know how deep it is to feel your feelings? To be able to say, like, the other day I woke up, you know, I start off my mornings really positive. I try to listen to Audible, something really good, workout, whatever. And then I had the Audible on. I went to the bathroom, you know, doing my thing, whatever. And then my wife says a statement. She says, "Oh, you're the worst morning person in the world."
Thinking that you're doing the best thing in the world.
And this
fucking your
all the time.
All
the time.
Right.
All the time.
and
Fucking
you
your
know,
vibe up every morning.
Bro.
she did mess up my vibe.
I know she did.
That's
Yeah,
like
shit
cleaning
up.
the whole
He was like,
crib and they
damn.
come on and be like, but that Lysol doesn't go there. I'm like, my nigga, did you not see the
like-
whole crib?
Right. Like the
So
fuck?
and in that moment I realized
Bad overtime.
she's annoyed at her pain. She's pregnant at the moment, right?
Mm.
So there's a lot going on in this young
a
lady's
deep
body
breath.
and mind. So I didn't even say a word to the negativity.
Mm.
And she saw what she did and she switched it 5 minutes later to something positive. Then I acknowledged her. Then I spoke softly. And then when I got to work, she texted me, "Oh, I'm sorry for being a mean person, blah, blah." And I told her, I said, with you or just like anybody, I don't like to start off my mornings negative. Even if I'm angry, I don't.
But that shows
That's
you
the
with the
point
right
right there.
person because she reached out to you and she realized
Yep.
she called herself.
And that's a standard I
Yep.
kept with me and my woman.
Yep.
Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing to feed your ego. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Don't even say sorry. There's been moments with my wife where I think because of what she's been involved in the past, where she apologized to me, but I know I did wrong. But I'm like, no, I did do wrong. I apologize. That's my fault.
Yep.
I even said the Audible was too loud. In that text message, I said the Audible was too loud. Next time, I need to be cognizant that somebody else is in the crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, no, like, and that's another thing. I'm not finna just let you, like, I'm not finna just let you walk through earth, like, because a lot of times we got a lot of young ladies,
Gotta
we
check 'em.
helping them grow, even with students. As a dean, as a young lady, if you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm gonna let you own up to it. I don't care. You're not about to circle around me, whatever, because I need you to be accountable.
Right.
Because I'm a reflection of a man that you might see in the future.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So be accountable with these young men.
Yep.
Let them be accountable with you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then we grow. Because if I let you pass as a dean,
Yep.
I'm with you more than your dad sometimes.
As an educator, you have to check these students more than you have to check sometimes your partner, for the simple fact that these young men are getting football sentences based on your lies.
That's
So you can lie, and females, what this month, you have more power than a male by a lot.
Landslide.
So when you say something about another male, especially a young man, you are holding that man's life in your hands.
For sure.
So you can lie, and until that lie is investigated, that man is in jail
Guilty.
for the
Yeah, he guilty.
For sure.
To prove
You understand what I'm saying? So as a female, you have to be cautious. As a student, we educators, as a student, you have to be cautious of what comes out your mouth. And as a boy, as a male, as a young adult, you have to know how to read the room. You have to learn how to read the room.
For sure.
If you feel like that room is gonna get you in some shit,
Got exit.
dip.
Exit stage.
know
left.
what
It's
is
okay
true?
to leave.
The thing is
It's
too,
okay to leave
like
some
a
bullshit.
lot of like, I feel like a lot of like, cause
Save you.
we all been young, right? I feel like the problem that we have is like holding ourselves accountable. Like just like how Maury was saying, where like how people have their pride, get the best of them. I feel like the shit that stops us from growing is when we feel like we know everything, we know it all, so nobody can tell us shit.
Right.
Anybody tell us, I'm like, nah, man, I've been doing this shit on my own. I know everything. You
You don't.
can't tell me nothing right now.
A real man never stops learning.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
person.
And
Progression, not perfection.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem with a lot of us, bro. Like, you have to learn from people. You have to learn to hold yourself accountable. The more you hold yourself accountable, the more growth that you're gonna get. Feel me? There's always room for growth. It don't matter who you are. I have nieces that literally know how to use an iPad more than me sometimes. And I was born way before them. You get what I'm saying? My nieces took my iPhone and put their face as the facial recognition
That's
on the
fire.
freaking iPhone. The twins, Awa and Aisha, Evil,
yeah.
they crazy, but they smart as hell. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we have a habit of thinking that we know it all. We don't want to hold ourselves accountable. Like I had times where when I'm like down or like, oh, I feel like I know everything, I will call my brother, right? I'll call Maury. Remember last year, he had to check me for some shit. I'm gonna be honest. Actually, no, it was this year. It was earlier this year. So everything was going smooth. I was associated with certain people that I was working with, and I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, we just did a successful event. So I be doing yacht parties and stuff. So I'm like, yo, I want to do a yacht party soon. He was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, I want to do a yacht party soon, bro. I can make it happen. And he's like, yo, bro, like, you're in a position right now where you're figuring things out.
Right.
You can't just jump from one thing to another thing
So,
when you haven't figured this out in this moment right now.
Right.
Feel me? And me in that moment, I was kind of pissed off because I was like, all right, cool. Like, I figured I know everything, right? I'm like, nah, I know this shit's gonna work. I just know this shit gonna work.
Right.
And what he was trying to get me to understand was like, bro, yes, you might know it's gonna work, but maybe it's not the time to do this right now.
Right. Timing.
Just humble yourself and figure shit out. And once shit actually goes good, you could throw the yacht party and do whatever you want to do.
Time management.
Probably like a month after that, the situation that I had going with these people didn't work out.
Come on now.
You feel me? And he told me to leave. He was like, "Yo, you gotta leave." My sister told me to leave. Multiple other people told me to leave. You get what I'm saying? So when that happened, I was just left with nothing. I was depressed. I had a fucking movie camera, a red camera, Sony, a drone. I bought a whole production the year before, spent over like $30,000 of my money. And I wanted to sell everything. He's my witness, bro.
That shit, bro.
I said, fuck it. I'm giving up on this shit. I don't want to do this shit no more.
That's the best.
I was gonna sell the cameras, the drone. I was gonna sell my car. I was like, I just don't want to deal with nothing.
He was ready to give up.
Get to
He was
that.
like, nah, bro. He's like, just do it again. It's all right. Then BG had wrote a note for me in 2020. It was during the pandemic. We used to be at Maury's crib every day, just wilding out. We called Maury the scientist during that era. You feel me?
Yo, bro.
The scientist, feel me? Black Jesus, you feel me? Teaching us some science, you feel me?
bro.
So, yo, like,
This thing is going crazy right now.
Like, at that time, we was just there, like, just learning mad shit. And BG had wrote something, like, feel me? BG was getting married, and we went to Atlantic City, feel me? Enjoyed over there. Went to the Lotto, what was the casino? That was the best experience. We went to
Atlantic
$2.
City?
Atlantic City. Made some money.
I don't
came
even
back.
like to gamble.
Movie.
Feel me? Movie. We come back, BG and I'm like, yo, we got to do a podcast.
Blessings.
We're on time.
No, we gotta. BG's like, yo, we gotta do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, we gotta do it. I'm like, I did it 2017, though. It didn't go right.
And bypass that idea.
It's like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna see. BG was like, yo, you could do a podcast and make money from this and this and this right here. I'm like, we're cool. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I'm like, nigga, I want to get money right now.
I'm a futurist.
Fast forward to 2022. When I left that studio or wherever I was at, I'm looking at my desk, cleaning everything out of my room. I found that piece of paper from 2020. It says everything you need to do to create this podcast.
Damn, I need to write my will.
Yeah.
This true story, right? Found that paper and I'm like, damn. I'm like, what else do I gotta lose? I call my brother. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to figure out a name. Talk to Maury. Maury's like, yo. He said some name. I'm like, yo, what you think about voice of the era? I feel like I never had a voice. I never had a voice. So I feel like I never had a voice. Why don't we create something for people to speak freely and do whatever they want to do?
That's it, bro.
And then that led to the performance videos and stuff like that, where I was like, there's a lot of artists out here that are very talented and they're not getting the attention and recognition they want. Why don't I create something for them too? And I call that the underrated voices.
Come on now.
And by God's grace, everything is doing great right
We
now.
here now.
Come on, Dave.
Yo, listen.
God did.
God.
This shit crazy, bro.
Yes.
But I
You
got
gotta
these
trust the
people right here to
process.
thank. Like, yo, for real, like,
Nah,
the
we-
aura of everybody in this room,
Come on
it
now,
means a
break it.
lot. And I feel like a lot of black men should, like, see this and grow from this, like, and learn that, yo, you're not alone, man. Like,
No,
we
at
all in
all.
the same boat, man.
Sir.
Like, we might have different struggles, but at the end of the day, man, it's a struggle, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
You feel me?
And we all gotta embrace each other and lift each other up and be there
Facts.
for one another. You know,
Yeah. And as black men, we gems, man. Just
we kings.
we kings. Like I honestly, like we all succumb to watching other people and trying to be like something that we're not sometimes, right? And just embrace your journey. Like I had to embrace BG the educator, BG the speaker, BG the I'm a space that I curate for positivity for men, you know, and I may be weird to other people, which is okay, bro, and it's okay, black men, it's okay to be
Yeah, it's
weird,
really
bro.
okay to be weird.
It's really
It's
okay.
really
It's
okay
really
to be
okay to be into things like
As weird as you.
Yo,
It's
bro,
not weird,
I be
it's you.
looking forward to meeting guys like I want to hear the weirdest shit like that's in your
Right.
head. Like,
Right.
what's scientific about you that you
Right.
like, you know? Because sometimes he be telling me about cars and engineering.
Yeah.
I be like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Right.
But I
But that's
love it.
it. Right,
But I
right,
love
right,
it because it's
right.
like you're so meticulous about the
Right.
little things, and it's like,
Right.
yo, that shit is fire, bro.
That little thing makes that car work.
Yeah, it makes that right, exactly.
I didn't
It
even
kinda
know that
gives you
screw was
something that you
missing.
can relate to your life too. Like when you talk to people, I love talking to people that don't have nothing to do with what I do.
That's it.
Because it's a perspective, right? Like every conversation is a perspective. So you know what I mean. You start asking questions, and it be ask questions like it be some bullshit, but they're gonna give you an answer, and they're gonna let them flow.
That's it.
Let them flow, and you're gonna walk away with a gem, right? Like. It's crazy. I'll give y'all some quick shit. I was at a company meeting for like my job or whatever, and this dude sitting next to me. It's like a big meeting, like the big company meeting. I'm sitting next to a dude, and he basically like we're not talking to each other. Long story short, he like it was a break. He gets up, he looks back, he's like, "Yo, we've been sitting next to each other the whole time," and we started chopping. So it was a white guy, older white guy. We started chopping. Long story short, I didn't even realize 2 days before I reached out to that guy to be my mentor. But I never met him.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's God, bro. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to be in the moment, you know what I mean? And be able to have that conversation. Because the conversation was great before I realized that was my mentor.
That's it.
Shit's crazy, so.
That's why I tell a lot of young black guys like us, I'm like, yo, bro, don't look like your struggles, bro.
Nah.
Please don't.
That's
I don't know.
real.
Don't look like your struggles, because I'm telling you right now, man, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in Tokyo, I think
My
biggest
son went to Tokyo.
one of the biggest words
Black
I
man
took
to
from
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Black Jesus, man.
Jesus,
Jesus.
walking in Tokyo.
Walking the earth.
Imagine that.
In the name of the
Like,
Lord.
my bad, bro.
Like niggas in Paris, but niggas in Tokyo.
He had the biggest
My son was trying.
You heard? Jim Tower.
Yo,
Them
bro.
niggas was like,
Naruto.
They get that one.
No, but for real, though, I think
That was
one of
fucked up.
one of the biggest words I learned.
Yeah.
One of the biggest words I learned in Tokyo, and I think I apply every day, is where I use all the time, aesthetics, bro.
Aesthetics?
Oh, yeah.
Aesthetics, bro. You gotta understand your aesthetics, bro. For
sure.
That's why I be trying to tell a lot of dudes, don't look like your struggles. You know why? Because when you look like you winning, bro, you just attract.
Money attracts money.
Energy.
You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
energy. They
You know
can
what I'm
read
saying?
it off of you.
Like
right?
you could be struggling, and I'm not saying to ignore your problems, like face your problems, but you don't like. You meet people sometimes, especially as men, like they're going through a bad day. The whole world gotta know they're going through a bad day.
Yeah.
But fuck that.
Don't
man.
do that.
Nah. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that one of the biggest things for a man to learn is learn how to stay poised.
At all times.
Even through the drama, learn how to stay poised.
At
bro.
all times.
You know what I'm
My
saying?
grandmother tells me wear your best outfit when you don't have $1 in your pocket.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
At all times.
Because the best opportunity could come to you when you look like you're winning. Because like right now, like listen, like if I'm looking to hire somebody, you going through something, I interview you right now, and you look like your girl just beat your ass up, and you don't look.
Pass.
You know what I'm saying? You complain about what's going on at home, and as a human being, I could listen, but at the end of this business, bro, I'm not trying to listen to that right now. What can you what can you give to me?
Right.
I say.
You know what I'm saying? So just don't look like your struggles, bro.
Don't look like some struggle.
Don't wear that stress because we come
Hashtag.
from stress. We come from like even if we had good homes, like you said, we had good homes, but we all gonna go through tumultuous moments in life, right? So you can't wear that because like, I think sometimes like one of my best friends passed away, right? And I was talking in the car with my brother, for sure. That's my brother. That's my guy. Definitely. Shout out to you, Don. But I was having this conversation about how do you wear that stress, right? Like I'm a person. I always tell people I'm like a duck almost, right? Like on the water, they're kind of just floating, but under the water, they're working hard as shit. And I think I'm that person. My brain is always like, ooh, but my demeanor, my face is always like very straight, right? I have feelings, I have emotions, but it's how I wear them, right? Like I'm not gonna, some life is life, right? It starts and it ends. So how do I wear that stress? Is by pushing forward on what we started together. Some of the shit that we did together, I just kept pushing forward. Not to say that I'm not mourning, because I definitely mourn. I'm not saying that I'm not grieving, because I definitely grieve, but we all grieve different. But how do I wear that stress, right? Because like there's days, don't get me wrong, and recently it happened, there's days we go in a funk. Like, yo, I really wish this didn't go like that. Like, why is this happening to me? But life is life, and you gotta live it. You know what I mean? So I definitely think, again, to piggyback off you, don't.
This is my last comment right here, right? And I appreciate what you said. This is my last comment, and I'm not gonna speak anymore. But
It's your podcast, bro.
no, chill.
Well, you drop
I've had
for sure.
I've had suicidal thoughts.
We all have.
You know what I'm saying? But I gotta say this.
Yep.
Sure.
Why? Because a lot of men don't hear other men say. I had suicidal thoughts. I had dark thoughts.
I have them.
Very dark thoughts.
Yes,
like
sir.
where it's like, yo, bro, I need my wife. Like, let's go take a walk. I need to go to Maury. Maury be like, yo, you good, bro? Like, he doesn't even know what I'm fighting. I may be fighting a demon inside of me. And as men, I just want to tell you, it's okay to say I love y'all, man.
For sure.
It's okay to
love you,
it's
man.
okay to just I text you and I'm just checking in. I don't want anything from you. You good? I'm just checking in.
We do
That's
that all
it.
the time.
Like what you
Every
need?
week,
Like
every day.
It's
Almost every day.
It's absolutely fine to just because it's real, right? You probably a fly guy. You walking in these streets. Everybody's like, yo, he good all the time.
Solid.
But and then next thing you know, not you, but they're like, yo, he killed himself. Like what? What
I
happened?
don't know what they're going through.
You don't know what he's going through.
Michael K.
Yeah.
Williams is
Yeah.
a great example of that, right?
Come on.
He didn't kill himself, but he had demons.
He had demons.
And
He
then
was fighting.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams,
Comedian.
So
right.
I just say
Go
this
down the list.
I say this to say, yo, to all men out there, be you, be real with you. Know that we gonna go through things in this life and the next. You know what I'm saying? This is the dunya. We working towards the deen. It's Islamic terms, but that this dunya is never gonna be easy. But it's not the way to take your own.
Yeah.
It's never the way.
Nope.
Because your story is a part of your resiliency.
Amen.
What you going through is going to aid the next person. Don't be selfish. I need you here. You heard?
Definitely.
That's me.
That's it.
Just don't be afraid to talk, man. Don't be afraid to talk to people. People are always there. Like your friends are there for counsel. And if it's certain friends that are like you can't open up to in that way because you feel like they might use it against you, then those are not the people to be around.
For sure.
You feel me? And you
Like
should
a
look for
confidant.
people that can help you out in that manner where you could open up to them and talk to them. It could be family. It could be anybody. It don't only have to be therapy. You feel me? Like my therapists are my family. My brother, my older brother, and my sister. You feel me? And if they don't got the answer, then maybe therapy is the best bet to go to.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? You always seek counsel from people, learn new things from people, and see what is the best way to go about it. I feel like today we had a good ass topic, man. We went crazy today, man.
Amazing.
And
For sure.
I ain't gonna lie, I really enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of people needed this.
Especially men.
Facts. A lot of men, a lot of young black men that are growing up. You're not alone, man. We all here with it, with you. We still facing some of these things and some of these trials and tribulations, and we getting through it every day. You feel me? We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in to Voice of the Era podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And everybody, I want y'all to just reintroduce y'all Instagram so that y'all can follow everybody here. So mention your Instagram for everybody and your name.
This is Mark. My IG is the bigger man. Main got an E at the end, so whatever.
This is Maury. IG is cars and codes, the letter N, not the word N. Cars and codes.
This is Bengali. IG is __ BG6.
This is Brian. IG is Rojas, 2 R's, 3 J's.
It's Kadeem. Instagram is 3_ DEEMY.
Know the vibes. Thank you for tuning in to Voice of the Era podcast.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.
Man.